using carbon scrubbers for a living or anything? Are you hungry? Let's pop to the market as we're passing. Right, what's on the menu this month? No, not meat. It's not your birthday. The Global Food Council are doing a really good job of keeping food production going.
All right, let's stop there. They've actually announced the Global Food Council. It'll decide if you can even have a garden. We'll be right back. Total UN takeover of everything. Stay with us, Aaron Dykes.
You've heard Alex.
News websites are prisonplanet.tv, where we stream video of the show, prisonplanet.com, that has a lot of news that's not on Infowars.com, and then, of course, Infowars.com. Aaron Dykes is in studio with us because he's so dedicated to the fight against the globalists without being told to. He's up here on Sunday because once you actually see this for yourself, you don't want to rest. This is beyond insane what we're dealing with these scientific dictators that run the New World Order. So I'm showing you what's shown school children. Now remember, the globalists, and Aaron's going to list some of them, have called for a global food council forever. And in the 1996 UN Food Summit in Beijing, China, the head of the UN food program, you can pull these quotes up, called for using food as a weapon and for this global body. The UN already operates this way through the IMF and World Bank. Bertrand Russell and others said we would basically cut off the food from the West to other countries until they let the globalists take over and reduce population. State Department Memorandum 200. Just type in State Department Memorandum 200, Henry Kissinger. You'll see mainstream dinosaur news on it. Said, we will get global governance in impoverished countries, cut off their food supply. If we have to, we'll fund rebels to destabilize their nation. We don't want people industrializing and because we want to dominate them. And we'll sell to the public that we're doing this because of their population. That's kind of the cover story. It's really just an excuse to kill people and keep them impoverished. Very, very evil. But let's just finish the little clip of her. Oh, the Global Food Council. Her kids are allotted what they're going to be when they grow up. Her husband, runs robots, that are running the city sewer system or whatever. And this is the technocratic system they're building. This is what is being developed. This is what is being set up. This is what's being taught. And it's classical, off the charts, scientific dictatorship. Let's go ahead and go to the clip.
The Global Food Council are doing a really good job of keeping food production going. I mean, you don't get the choice you used to, but we're better off than most. I think it's probably easiest to walk from here. You barely see a car in the city centre nowadays, unless you're rich. Or the state knows.
Okay, so they sell that idea. That's enough. There's like 10 of these videos. There'll still be some rich people. Ooh, class envy. They're still going to have that going. Aaron Dykes, you're up here working. I guess because you were in town and saw the local Onion. Scientists look, 1/3 of the human race has to die for civilization to be sustainable. So how do we want to do this? Now, the real number is, they say, 80%. It's all official. UN Biological Diversity Assessment, 96 again. I mean, it's all over the place. We've written books, made films. Infowars.com covers it ad nauseum. And, of course, this is a national publication, but they have local versions of it to mix in some local news to even make you trust it more. And, again, when I was growing up, I would notice that they would say on News of the Weird and all this at the checkout line, Bat Boy at the White House, or President meets with aliens. And next to it, it would say Arnold Schwarzenegger is a Nazi. And I separately had read about that and went, well, that's actually true. And then as I got more sophisticated, I learned, and now it's come out in the news, that they're government-run, a lot of them, or have plants inside. It's part of the policy to mix fake news with real news. Like they've made jokes about NDAA and secret arrest of citizens. People send us emails saying you got that from the Onion. They've made jokes about all of it. And you'll go through the checkout line, it'll say Bat Boy on News of the World or whatever. And then next to it, there's a plan to put chips in people to track them. Well, that's in Reuters, too. But see, it makes it all a big joke and fogs everything up. And they have a lot of radio shows where they do this, where they mix things together. And that's basically done intentionally so nobody can figure out what's really going on. Now, Aaron Dykes, your comments on this, because I have a comment on your article. Satire article complains at least 2.3 billion people must die to save the Earth. That's at Infowars.com. There's a comment from Alex Jones, and your big article's all documented. Maybe the Onion should also make jokes, and of course we're not saying they should, about the Nazis mowing down Jewish women. We have a link to photos of women with their babies in pits, naked, being shot. As the group of avowed eugenicists, too. Again, maybe the Onion should also make jokes about the Nazis mowing down Jewish women. That would be just as distasteful as the group of avowed eugenicists, too, because they were, acted out murder in the name of saving the earth. Or what about armed troops who burned down Ugandan villages and killed women and children last year on behalf of the British Carbon Trading Company? We have links to Dinosaur Media admitting that. And the World Bank. Also, what's going on in Honduras. They just kill them for the earth. That, too, was a trendy, cool environmental act of genocide to save us from global warming, from the carbon dioxide humans exhale. Aaron, just amazing. But first, the World Food Council and your deep research into the world government that's already in place, that brainwashing for children is already going on.
Yeah, and my mind's everywhere on this, but of course there's the proposals for different forms of world government, and everybody from Lord Bertrand Russell to Henry Kissinger in the 70s to John Holdren now at the White House, who in the 70s wrote Eco-Science, they all have almost the exact same proposal, that there's going to be a global food authority.
And by the way, what they propose is always in place under stealth. They propose stuff in the water to sterilize us and dumb us down. It is added. White House science czar calls for it.
But they say in no uncertain terms they want to ration foods to individual nations, and meanwhile those nations have to meet population reduction targets. If they don't meet them, they withhold the proportionate amount of food, implying they're going to starve people to death. And
he says we'll also use war and famine.
They like killing.
He says if a country's doing good, we'll just hire rebels to blow stuff up.
It's obviously not about food for the population. They destroy food to keep prices up with the economic situation. The stuff about taking land.
No, it's a managed economy. Same way we can't have our own oil. It gets shipped to China. And we get lectured by Obama about it.
And when they take the land from the Hondurans or from the Ugandans, that's all to grow biofuel or GMO.
By the way, we have links. Even the New York Times admits they go in and line the families up and mow them down. And the New York Times is like, well, it's for the earth. You know, I mean, they're kind of like, I mean, folks, this is like fascism. Go ahead.
But you've got everyone in government and these non-governmental organizations that help run the world, all these people in academia.
That's the thing. They act like they're liberals. See, Nazis don't run around in Nazi uniforms. They act like trendy hippies.
Yeah, you've got the most establishment figures in the world all obsessed with eugenics, all the skull and bones people, for one, totally obsessed with the population stuff.
And every major university head we look at of the biology departments, like Pionk at UT, it's long hair, sandals are like, we got to get rid of 90% trendy. People are like, well, he's got long hair. It's trendy. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, line those Africans up. It's trendy.
But the general public eventually picks up on some of this rhetoric. But here it is again, spinning it as a joke to the nihilist, trendy class.
Listen, I've seen hundreds of comments and emails over the years from 2 years ago when the Onion put out a fake martial law video from Congress, when that was separately being debated by Ron Paul. And congressmen were saying, we've gotten the PDD 51, it's for martial law. The Onion goes and makes jokes. And then I get hundreds of comments over the years, oh, you saw that on the Onion. This is psych warfare.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And it's, it is sharp criticism. The problem is it doesn't go that way to the public. I mean, if you're in the know, you can recognize that it's kind of clever wording, but the general public thinks, it's all a joke, like you say. Yeah.
Well, it creates a joke response in those synapse systems. And the first time you recognize information, if it's in a horror area, a smell area, a joke area, that creates the staining in the electrochemical synapses for recognition. So the next time you hear about it, it's a joke.
Yeah, it makes you isolated and numb to that whole information.
Yeah, well, it's a fusion of 3 psychological disciplines. It's very sick. Stay there. I want to come back with more with you, Aaron. I want to just go over the news and get your commentary. Aaron Dykes, of course, routinely fills in and hosts the radio show and the nightly news every weeknight, 7 o'clock, Prisonplanet.tv. All right, I'm going to continue with Aaron on the globalist master plan, because you've got to understand the overarching reasons for all this. And then in the final segment, I've got all these 6, 7, 8 stacks of news that's all off the charts I haven't even gotten to. It's all at Infowars.com and Prisonplanet.com. I had the whole list earlier, but here's just part of the new affiliates we've gotten in the last few weeks. KWAP, 1430 AM, Wasilla, Arkansas, Monday through Friday and Sunday show. I want to say hi to those folks. WGEA, 1150 AM, Geneva, Alabama, Monday through Friday, live. WAAM 1600, Ann Arbor, Michigan. And that's rebroadcast in the evening. KIVA 1550 AM, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Monday through Friday at night, but they say next month it's going to during the day. It's so popular, live. KOHI 1600 AM, St. Helens, Oregon. Wow, that's beautiful out there. And the volcano. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., so that's live, Monday through Friday. WBYB 100.39 FM, Olena, New York. That's also live Sunday, but also weekdays they've got it. KIXZ 940 AM, Amarillo, Texas, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time. They rebroadcast it, and they pick us up Sunday. WJOC 1490 AM, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Live Monday through Friday. That's just some of our great affiliates. We're getting so many new ones. You know, Aaron, that's what's exciting is that people actually have taken me up on looking into what I've said. For a lot of years, some people will look it up and go, wow, this guy's telling the truth. But most people said, okay, part of what he's saying is true, but it can't be that bad. Now that so much of this stuff has happened, now most people are looking into what I've said, and they're finding out it's worse than I'm saying, Aaron.
That's been personally very fulfilling for me. Even when I know you're not making something up, I look it up anyway because I always learn new things, and I have this enriched, like, deep knowledge of what you're talking about, and I know the whole background, a lot of the players involved, and when you start seeing the same globalist players in a chain of continuity pushing this agenda over centuries, that's when it really gets creepy. I mean, that's when we start to really get close to the target.
And people ask if they'll spike. This is a key point. I want folks to listen carefully, and then I want your view on this, Aaron. Because I've thought a lot about this. The most common question I get is, why are you still alive? Well, in the early days, they tried to hire me. You know, hey, come work for us, we'll make you a star. And then I've been beat up and told to shut up, and I've had dirty tricks and things happen. But they've assessed the fact that I'm 110% committed because I've seen what's going on. I mean, you see the real world, folks, not the Matrix, but the real architecture of this, not just this thin level we're kept in of disinfo and false information. It's not hard to not sell out. I mean, you can't sell out. This is the most sickening, hyper-dominant, out-of-control scientist that developed the system. It's so anti-human, so evil, so ugly, goes so against everything in my soul and heart that it's not even debatable. It's not even a question. And the values of being powerful or cool or all the petty animal level stuff that they use to program us with. When you actually become a conscious, awake human, they would call it illuminated, but that's just being a normal human, just being normal. The globalists call it illuminated, that they're evil and understand all this and are conscious. You understand? That illumination is a false version of just being conscious. Once you're actually conscious and see this and see what the dark workers are doing, sell out and jump in a pack of black devils? Jump right into hell's mouth? No, thank you. Okay, you're going to kill me, set me up, destroy my name? Go right ahead. I don't want to be at a table with you. Just like I don't want to, you know, hang out in my basement with a dead horse. I mean, it's just crazy. And you see how in bondage people are through trendiness and how they'll do anything if it's stylish and cool and just totally pack-driven. It's so scary. The globalists haven't killed me because we're so on target with what we're covering that they don't want to create a martyr. So they've tried to assassinate my character instead and who I am. From below and above, from grassroots, staged events, and domino, chain reaction, hysteria attempts on us. Those haven't worked. The upward attacks haven't worked as well because I've been conscious of it. Attacks are meant to freak you out and get you, oh my gosh, I'm being attacked, I better defend myself.